Hey everybody. So this is part 3 of a little video series I'm doing on YouTube to help others get into reloading. And this is a series on reloading the 44 Magnum cartridge. Um, any of the principles followed here will work for any other rimmed revolver cartridge, but you can take these principles and use them for automatic pistol cartridges as well as bottleneck and straight-walled rifle cartridges. So caveat, this is my technique that I've been doing for 35 years. It works very well for me, and I hope it'll work for you. So yeah. So we've already gone through the steps of inspecting some cases and punching out the spent primers. And then next up was polishing to get them so that you can really inspect the necks again and really see a crack if it's there. And now we've got a big, huge jug or pan of polished and deprimed cases. And these now are ready to start going through the process of resizing, then flaring, priming, charging, seating a bullet, and then crimping them. So in this stage, what we want to do is first just grab one of these cases. Actually, let me see. I want to grab a Starline case because I love them. All right, so we want to inspect the primer pocket. And I don't know if that's is that gonna focus? Yeah, so that's nice and clean. If that were not clean, then I've got a tool laying around here somewhere, buried in my junk pile. I don't know where the heck it is, but it's a tool that you basically put in there and just scrub back and forth, and it removes the powder residue. But yeah, that usually gets removed during the tumbling cycle. So with this, this is actually ready to resize, and so this minimum case length for 44 Magnum is 1.275. So that's 1 inch and 275 thousandths of an inch. And so let me show you what happens with brass when you work it. Now, hopefully I can do this with one hand. It's very hard. I may not even be able to post this video. All right, so what we have here is 1.265. So what we want to do is run this cartridge through this sizing die until it's fully sized all the way for the full case length. So let me pop that in there. And again, this is hard with one hand, but so I don't have to lube these cases because these are carbide pistol dies by Redding. Highly recommend it because lubing, takes up not only 2 steps really. You have to apply lube to them, and then you have to clean them after. So carbide is the way to go. So I'm just going to run this case in through there. And again, we want it to be to our minimum length, which is 1.275. It was 1.265 before running through it. Watch what brass does as you work it. All right, so this is 1.271. That's actually an acceptable length, but I'm gonna run that through again. Oops. Let's see what it is. All right, now it's perfect. 1.275. So that is the perfect length for a cartridge. So we don't need to worry about sizing this cartridge anymore. We don't need to worry about trimming it. I wouldn't trim it unless it measured maybe 280. Then I might think about trimming it again. But these cases, I find with Starline brass, if you size them And then trim them the first 2 or 3 reload cycles. They tend to stop growing and they shrink when you fire them, and then they grow when you size them, and they kind of don't need trimming after that unless they really start growing again. And if they do, trim them again. If they don't, just keep loading them. Eventually the neck will split. You know, they don't last forever, but I've got some 44 Magnum cases that have been, gosh, well through 25, 30 reloads, and they're still fine. So that's the process. So now this case is sized, meaning it will fit in a chamber. It will be tight enough to hold a bullet. But what we're going to do in the next step, the next video, is we're going to flare this. Then we're going to prime it with fresh primer, charge it with powder, seat a bullet in it, and the last step is crimping, which it actually rolls the case mouth tighter onto the bullet to hold it. Because during recoil, when you're firing, you know, the 2 or 3 last rounds from being slammed back and forth, the bullet can actually start to climb back out. And so, yeah, you want to correct that, and by crimping. Some people don't bother, and I actually don't crimp rifle cartridges. But revolver cartridges, I do crimp, and automatics as well. So this is the 3rd video. So I'm going to go through and get all these sized, and we'll plop them in here. And the next stage, again, is going to be flaring and then priming the cases and having them ready to charge. So, quick little video in my little video series, and I hope this is helpful. So, like and subscribe, and come on back for the next video when it appears, okay? All right. Have fun reloading, everybody.